For my kids, for kids like me, minutia choices. What color highlighter pen do you want today? Okay, do you want to independently read, or do you want to read the read aloud with me and them? Or, okay, you want to stick needles in the voodoo doll of Miss Etler today? That's fine. You can do worksheets over there. And really, that's fine. That's really, really fine. That's a key point. It's fine. Whatever you want. It works miracles. It works miracles because the kids feel respected. If they're hard to reach, if they're at risk, there's a reason for that. So give them the opposite and watch them bloom. This might be, if you don't already use this, if you don't come from a background like mine, maybe you don't know this intrinsically. Maybe you do. Forgive me if you're like Shrug, everybody does this. But when you've got that kid who's literally throwing a chair across the room, the one who's causing the major disruption, the one who is always sent to the dean, this works like magic. I've used this with hundreds, maybe 1,000 kids, and it's never failed. When the kid is acting up, here's the script. Oh man, I really want you in the room with us, but I really can't have all these kids disrupted. So I tell you what, I hope you'll wait for me outside. I'll be out there in 2 seconds. You can tell me what's going on. Or if you gotta keep doing this, man, I gotta call school security. But I don't wanna do that. I don't want you out of here. So I hope you'll wait for me outside and then turn so they don't have someone staring at them with the hands on the hips, which is what I was used to, which is what our hard-to-reach kids are used to. That's the trigger. So turn your back. It's really up to them. Every single time, and I'll look in the eyes, I'm not lying, every single time I've done that, it works. They go outside. And we talk for a second, and sometimes they rat-a-tat-tat, and they don't want to hear it. They don't need to hear my side. Fine. They got it out. All right, cool. I hope you'll come back in. I'm going in. Come in when you're ready. Like just the change in that micro respect. So the kid gets to come back in like the Fonz. Nobody lost, nobody won. The kid kept their respect in the classroom. But now we have this bond. Now my classroom is the place that kid wants to be. So what I do in read alouds, and I know a lot of people do read alouds, this is great, and we make it sound like a movie, and this is fantastic, but here's a new tweak. When I do read alouds, we've got the habits of mind, we want them to learn the higher order thinking skills that, how do you teach how to inference? I don't know, how do you do it? Well, I do it by doing a read aloud and stopping in the reading to literally model my thoughts. So when I was reading The Dead Inside with my adjudicated youth, right? So I stop at a scene and like, okay, so I shouldn't be saying this, guys, but I can totally relate to this scene with trying to smoke weed and coughing up a lung. And what's going on there? Like, why did she choose to smoke the weed when she didn't really want to? So the kids are seeing what I'm thinking when I use that habit, and they are thinking the same thought. By reading aloud and then stepping out of the book to model my thoughts, the kids are thinking my thoughts. So then what the kids are doing is they're practicing this habit that's impossible to teach. So what that's achieving is giving them the strategies that they couldn't learn when they were young. So next time when they come at a text, ooh, I got this skill now, right? So then their intellectual self-esteem, their perception of themselves as a student, they want to be in your class now because you're making it feel good and respectful. They want to work because they have these skills that, oh, this is doable. They want to read the stuff because you're giving them good books to read. Like, how many miracles are going to pop up in this little spring garden of your classroom? That was gross. That was so, I'm sorry. Last little thing I want to talk about is rewarding effort and not just product. So, again, when you get to high school and you're a behavioral student, right? You got a lot of ticks against your name. You're still coming to school. So that means something. That means there's still hope. That means there's still something in that kid that wants to connect with someone, right? So we've got such just a little kernel of magic there, and the fact that that kid is still coming to school, the kid who's always sent to the dean. So what I found really, really works is giving that kid little micro opportunities to be good and doing it publicly. So I have a chart that looks, it's not that pretty, but a big chart on the wall. And in my classroom, it's community enough that I can put the kids' names up and everybody's fine with it, whatever works for your room. But multiple times in each class, the kids know, okay, some random moment during independent read, I'm gonna glance around. Uh-oh, she's on her phone, she just got a 0. Oh, okay. She's working, okay, check. So they are seeing themselves either rack up points or rack up non-points, okay, and we'll get to that non-points thing in a second. But here's a trick, okay, so I can stand here, and if I just sit and look at her and look at her, eventually she's gonna feel the eyes boring into her, and she's gonna stop playing with her blue phone. No, she's not. Yes, she is! Hey, I just caught her, so now she gets the check. She knows I see her, you got your check. So, oh crap, I want to get another check. So the behavior changes, right? So making it public, these little infinitesimal ways to rack up your points, but for those bad kids, give them a minute. Let them know. Let them see you giving them that check. For me, this was unheard of. Somebody, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So they want to reach for more of that, right? And always having a backup plan. And I don't mean wait till the end of semester when everybody's going to hit you to try to do a bunch of slag work to bring their grade up. But like on a weekly basis, hey man, okay, you got some 0s, that's no big. Here's some things you can do, some legitimate things you can do to change those 0s, change them to check marks. And here's a marker, your color, you can change them yourself. Guarantee you're gonna see change in that kid, and they're gonna wanna be in your classroom because suddenly it feels good. But the note home to the parents that's not for the parents, that goes to the kid, you know what, look at all these check marks. Look, I'm gonna just write this note and I'm gonna fold it. I don't care if you read it, it's really boring, but just take this home, maybe it'll go on your fridge. The kid reads it, and again, if the kid is abused, if the kid is in foster care, whatever the case may be, if that kid is hard to reach, guarantee you there's not too many people telling that kid what you did today is good. We tell them that, we have a new best friend who's gonna do anything for us. But just to summarize all this, here's you now doing all this. You're teaching with killer books that use your kids' voices and talk in very realistic ways about their situations so the students are psyched to participate. You're giving them choice, so they're now cooperating. You're modeling and you're practicing the intellectual strategies you want them to gain, so they're growing academically and intellectually, and you're publicly validating each little step they're taking so they feel great. And they see themselves now as, I'm a good student. Hey, you made it feel good. Okay, maybe it's dorky, but it feels good. That was my process for going from there to here. So boom, by emphasizing voice and choice in your classroom, you have got this brand new dynamic.